but I want to say something before we sing tonight and before Brother James here says our prayer tonight. You may have noticed that all the music team, all of the praise team, we're all wearing a little extra button tonight. And it has a picture of our very good friend, Danny Marin, on the button. And I'm so blessed to have his family here with us tonight. Thank you so much to the Copa family, Marin family. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying this night with us. Tonight is a night that as a praise team, as a music team, we decided to honor Danny tonight. We miss him dearly. He passed away almost a little over 4 months ago. And we miss him dearly. And tonight we collectively came together and said, you know what, we want to honor Danny tonight as a part of our Friday night service here at Truth Chapel for our 5 years. He is a part of the fabric of our DNA. And so tonight, we're going to sing one of his favorite songs. Danny would text me on Friday or Saturday and say, hey, are we doing Psalm 63 this weekend?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
And I would say, I don't know. He would say, well, I think we should.
Amen.
And then he would always end it with, and you got to lead it. So tonight is, after we say the prayer and as we sing tonight is for Danny. And they have a picture of Danny they're going to put up on the screen just for a moment. And this is in loving memory of our friend Danny. And so tonight we do this for Danny. Worship with us as you give tonight. Let's go.
My soul thirsts for you,
and my flesh
belongs for you. In the dry and thirsty land, where no water can be found.
So I have looked in the sanctuary, see your power, and your glory,
because your loving kindness is better than life.
My lips shall praise all my life. Thus will I bless you while I live. Hey.
I will lift up my hands in your name. Oh God, you are my God.
Early in the morning, I see my soul. It thirsts for you, and my flesh
belongs for you.
in a dry
and thirsty land,
when no water can be found. Hey,
so I have looked
in the sanctuary, see your power and your glory. Hey,
because your loving
it's better than life. My lips shall praise you all my life. Thus will I bless you while I live.
I will lift up my hands.
Because
your loving
it's better than life. My lips shall praise you all my life. Thus will I bless you while I live.
I will lift up my hands in your name.
Everybody say, oh. Come on, sing it with us. You save me, you save me.
You save me, you save me.
You heal me, you heal me.
You heal me, you heal me.
You bless me, you bless
save me.
You save me, you save me.
And you heal me, you heal me.
You heal me, you heal me.
Delivered, delivered, delivered me.
Deliver, deliver, deliver me.
He delivered, delivered, delivered me.
Deliver, deliver, deliver me.
You save me, you save me.
You save me, you save me.
You heal me, you heal me.
You heal me, you heal me.
Listen, delivered, delivered, delivered.
Deliver, deliver, deliver.
You delivered, delivered, delivered.
Deliver, deliver, deliver.
You save me, you save me.
You save
Yeah.
me, you save me.
And you heal me, you heal me.
You heal me, you heal me.
Delivered, delivered, delivered.
Deliver, deliver.
I'm so glad he delivered, delivered, delivered.
Deliver, deliver, deliver.
You save me, you save me.
You save me, you save me.
And you heal me, you heal me.
Heal me, you
Say, oh, I got an old praise. Woo, say, oh, say, oh. One more time, sing, oh, hey, 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 say, oh. Amen. As you remain standing, we are going to sing one more song before we bring Brother Tim Gaddy to this pulpit to minister to us tonight. Again, to all of our guests, we thank you so much for being in the house of the Lord tonight. Thank you for being here with us. And we're going to sing one more song. And I want everybody in this room to know that whatever God did in the past, He can do it again. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. Jennifer, come and let's worship the Lord tonight.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never failed me yet. I know the night won't last, your word will come to, and my heart will sing. My heart will sing your praise again. I'm gonna sing your praise. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your, because my heart will sing your praise again. Your promise stands. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. You're so faithful, Lord. I'm in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail. Your promise still stands. You're so faithful. I'm in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me. Yeah, you never fail me. Just over 4 months ago, I faced the darkest day of my life. My family and I experienced a tragedy that we never dreamed of. You saw Danny's picture earlier. Many of you know because you were there with us that day. And you've walked beside me these last few months. And I'm so grateful. But for those of you that don't know our story, Danny collapsed that day just over 4 months ago. He was unresponsive. His heart had stopped completely. He was rushed to the hospital. They made every effort. They worked so hard. And I remember going to the hospital thinking when I get there, he's just going to be sitting there waiting for me. Like, what took you so long, Jen? But that's not what happened that day. They couldn't save him. Danny met his eternal reward that day, but I began the hardest, most difficult journey of my life. I lost my husband. My kids lost their papi. And this church lost a friend, a brother, someone who was dedicated and loved this place. I remember that night I felt so physically sick from the shock and the pain. And I cried and cried. I was crying out to God. I told him, I can't do this. God, I can't make it through this. How am I supposed to live without him? This is not the way it was supposed to happen, God. As I prayed and I begged God, God, you got to help me, I felt him start to speak to me. And he said, Jen, I already told you you're going to make it. What are you talking about, God? I don't know what you're talking about. And God immediately brought to my mind 9 months earlier, I was asleep one night and I had a dream. I was paralyzed. I was suffocating. There was a darkness just covering me. I couldn't breathe. And I remember thinking, Jesus, 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 until it became audible, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And never in my life have I ever thought I heard the voice of God before that night. But I heard a voice clear, and I recognized it to be the voice of God. And he said, Jennifer, you're going to go through the worst thing you've ever been through, and you are going to feel like it's going to kill you, but I'm telling you, it's not. You're going to make it because I'm going to be right there with you. And God has been right there with me. I told 2 people about that dream that night. 2 people knew. But I didn't know what it meant until in that moment it became so clear. I knew exactly what it meant. And God just prepared me. He gave me his word that he would be with me. But it didn't just start that night because God had already been making a way long before that night. He had been moving mountains because 5 years earlier, Brother and Sister Chavis came to Loganville and they started a church called Truth Chapel. And a few months later, Danny and I came to our first service at Truth Chapel, and I remember we went home that day and he said, that's where I'm going to church. But what some of you may not know about me and Danny is that we were kind of a mess. We were broken. We had been raised in the church and been away from God. And we were in desperate need of God to just restore our lives. And God had made a place where we could come because God knew in 4.5 years, Danny was going home. You know, and because of that, Danny didn't die lost 4 months ago. Danny died right with God. I didn't go through this tragedy without God. I went through this tragedy knowing I had the presence of God all around me. I had the Comforter with me. He's been with me every step of the way. And let me tell you, there's been some long days and some hard nights, but I'm holding on to every promise God gave me. My confidence is in Him. It's painful and it hurts, but He's never failed me. He's never forsaken me. I'm not paralyzed in grief because I serve a God who gives me hope, who gives me a future. He's shown His love and strengthened me in my weakness. He's walked with me every step of the way. He's still good. It might not feel good right now, but He's working it all for my good. He still heals. He still restores. He still does the impossible. He still moves mountains. And if you're facing something tonight, I'm telling you, He's a mountain-moving God. Yes, He is. Hallelujah. I thank you. I've seen you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again and again. He's a way maker, yeah. I believe I'll see you do it again. He moves the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe He's gonna do it. Hold on to His promise, 'cause He's a faithful God. He's so good. Oh, I believe I'll see you do it again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, God. You are my confidence, 'cause you've never failed me. You've never forsaken me. Your promise it stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet. You never failed me yet, and I never will forget. You never failed me yet.
right now. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way. And I believe. I see you do it again. You move the mountains, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe. I see you do it again. 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 All over the building, would you just lift the praise now?